They was all up in the crowd and shit. Lit. I'm trying to be in the crowd. What's gutty?
It's coming.
I know it's coming. We still in the panoramic.
Yeah. The pandemic, whatever you want to call it.
All that.
Whatever side you want to pick, man, we still in it.
For real.
Exactly. Whatever side you want to be on. Believe it or not, we in it.
It's happening.
Yes, it is. Definitely it is.
Oh, baby. You ready, Kay?
Yeah, I'm on your time.
I know you're ready.
You know me. Point me to the question. Yeah.
You are now tuned in to the motherfucking Ambition Hour podcast.
Wait.
No, it's Kay. You can't do this every time you come.
We're going to stop it right there, right? We're going to stop it right there, right? Because, you know what I'm saying? I know, got this gold mic on. Sound is just crazy. You got me looking amazing right now. I don't know what camera to look at. I don't know what light. 4K, everything. We not gonna get brand new. All right.
This is the intro.
We're gonna take it back to episode. When I was on 5, but it was 4.
9.
9. We're gonna take it back to 9. All right.
Okay, just for you.
Beat the table. That's how we did it.
All right. Okay. All right. I got you. I'm gonna do the OG intro. Okay.
Oh, there we go. That's all I want.
Can we get the camera?
Yeah,
all right.
Can we
just do the can I get an ambition hour at least real quick?
I need the ambition hour nostalgia.
The ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby.
Yo, and welcome to the Ambition Hour podcast. It's your girl Claudia Renee on your airwaves, and this is episode 151.
Alright. Now you can do your little intro thing or whatever. Now you can get it right.
We are in the episode as of right now. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, go. I need some sound back here, huh? I can't hear that sound.
Okay, can't hear himself.
Yeah,
got my dog right.
I'm ready, man.
He done been here a couple of times, so what's going on?
I don't know if,
you don't hear yourself at all?
Oh, you actually.
Yeah, plug me back up over there.
Let's get it right.
Yeah.
Can you hear yourself now?
There you go.
All right, we live and connected. All right, everybody. And welcome yet again to another episode of the Ambition Hour podcast. I am your host, Claudia Renee, and I am joined by my co-host, House 600 in the building.
Yo, you already know what it is.
Y'all always hear the voice.
151.
If you want to follow him, you can follow him on Instagram, have 600 literally, so you can see the face.
Yeah.
And if you are watching us on YouTube, you know that I am not alone. If you are listening to us on Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, wherever it is that you're listening to us. Also, you can tell Alexa to put on a recent episode of ours and she will play that bit for you. So tell Alexa to play the brand new episode of the Ambition Hour podcast so you can listen to her while you're setting up your tree now. Right.
Amazon.
Yes. But so I'm letting you know that I am not alone. We have DJ Killa K in the motherfucking building, bitch.
Yeah. Don't bang too hard though. This is a new table. You know what I'm saying?
This is a new table, K. We done came up.
Now, they the old one, so we
done came up, K.
Yeah, but now I'm here. I'm back. Thank y'all for having me. It took some time. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie, a couple missed schedules and all that, but I'm back on the best podcast in the world.
Oh my God, thank you, Kay. I appreciate it.
I say that genuinely. You know, I say that wholeheartedly.
Thank you, Kay. I appreciate that. I wanted to go ahead and say congratulations to Hav for having dropped What Else Is New. Make sure that you guys go ahead and check that out.
Okay, Hav, I see you over there working, man.
Hav is always working.
What?
And like I tell y'all every single time my brother drops some music, make sure that y'all go listen to my little brother music.
Definitely go check out the boy.
Listen, yes.
Check out the boy, Hav.
It is released on Worth the Wait Records. As you guys know, that is our record company. So it's part of us. It is us. So make sure that y'all go ahead and check that out. This is WTW Saturday. So that means that we dropping another episode. It is 151. K, who would have thought we would have made it this far?
Oh man, I'm just proud of y'all. I ain't gonna lie
Thank you,
to
K.
you. Like, I knew y'all was gonna do it, cause from the jump. But I'm just here to celebrate. Here to celebrate with y'all.
I'm excited. So we're gonna start the episode like how we always started with sharing what we are grateful for. Kay, since you are a special guest for today, we want to know what you are grateful for this week.
I am grateful for. Okay, boom. First off, I wanna just say I'm grateful for getting up this morning. You know what I'm saying? Before anything, first thing,
Motherfucking first.
I'm grateful for getting up this morning, and then I'm grateful for a lot. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for being able to still be out here, in this crazy 2020 that we done been through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just grateful to just still be out here, still be able to, do some things and live some lives, and what I mean, just, just still to be, I'm grateful for a lot though, but for the most part, I'm definitely grateful for my family, and I'm just grateful for life. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm just,
Amen.
Healthy,
Lotus Life.
Yeah,
Yes.
Boom, like that segue. I like that segue.
Not too hard, Kay.
New table. But grateful for a lot, man. Grateful for life. Grateful
Awesome.
for life.
I'm very happy to hear that.
Love that.
Hav, what are you grateful for this week?
Shit, man. I'm grateful for always having the opportunity to learn some shit. You know what I mean? Me and Kay was chopping it up.
Yeah.
Then just talking about health and some shit that I think that I can't let go. And he's telling me, brother, you can let this shit go.
You can let it go. You can
I
let it go. Because I let it go. And
so,
then,
yeah. For my vegans out there, we talking about getting rid of the chicken. I already got rid of the red meat, but the chicken, I can't see myself do it. But Kay said I could do it, so Kay said I could do it.
I did it. I gave it up. And,
So I'm a rock like that. I'm a get more better at that. I'm gonna actually give fish a try because I feel like I never really gave it a try.
Nah, you gotta give it a try, bro.
And you was telling me about the taste buds and shit like that. So
yeah.
So you know what, and bro, always being part of something that's always gonna help you grow, and make you learn.
Yes.
That's why it's the motherfucking ambition hour.
I know that's right.
The ambition hour, baby.
What about you, Claudia? What you grateful for?
This week I'm just grateful for being able to do exactly what I love to do. As far as like this podcast, I feel like episode 150 really showed me a lot because like I always knew that I was gonna get there, but like actually making it there and like finishing it and releasing it and just everything that I remember going through in the beginning and how different it is now, just like it humbled me so much. So I'm very grateful for having been able to do 150 episodes. I'm just like I'm like in the top of I feel like I'm at a level right now where like I know it's going to continue going, but I feel really good where I am right now as far as this goes, because I just know it's just going to go up from here. Like if I haven't stopped now, like I ain't stopping.
Ain't
like
no stopping.
like I thought I told you that we won't stop.
Yeah. A lot of hard work though. A lot of hard work you've been putting in. So it's just gonna manifest. That's all.
I'm also very grateful to have you here because
man, who little old me? I appreciate
nah,
that.
little old you, that big you king.
I ain't nobody. Yeah.
Nah.
The guy selling t-shirts. Man.
Nah, don't do
selling
that.
T-shirts now.
No, okay. So for the people who don't know who this is DJ Killa K, right?
Best DJ in the fucking world.
Yes.
Oh man, love.
Okay, so we met him at an open mic that we would go to called in Miami Live.
Yeah.
And he was the DJ there every single Saturday.
Yeah.
And
Put
he
up
was
with our
just
nonsense.
always showing love, just being the best, like the best host, everything.
Oh man, appreciate
And so
that.
I'm just very grateful that we were able to make that relationship.
Nah.
What is it, like 2 years ago?
Yeah, it could have been that 2, 3.
Two?
It was in
Yeah,
2018. 2018.
Yeah, it was 2018.
Yeah, so we've
2018.
because okay, so you were on episode 9. So see, I remember. Now the second time that you came on, I don't remember. I just know that it was at the end.
I think you had a lot of Hennessy that time.
It was
too.
at the end. It was at the end of 2018 though, because last year I couldn't get you on because I wanted you for episode 100.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And we couldn't get you on, but it was okay. I knew you were gonna come back eventually.
Of course.
But yeah, so you've been here a couple of times. And so I'm just very grateful for that because like you get to see the growth. And then not only do you get to see the growth, but we get to see your growth as well.
Yeah.
You know, like we've just seen everything that you've done. You've come on the podcast and you've talked about it. And it's like a time capsule almost, you know. So it's just really dope. And I'm just really grateful to have you here again.
Oh, well, thank you.
I had to say that.
Those are some amazing words from an amazing person.
Thank you.
And I would say to that too, I'm just grateful for y'all, you know, on the flip side. For even, you know, having me on your platform or, you know, being one of the first people you guys wanted to be on your platform. You know what I mean? That speaks a lot to me. You know what I mean? So I definitely am grateful for that, and I appreciate you guys, and I definitely was coming back.
Of course.
You know, I don't care.
And he came with goodies this time.
I don't care. I don't care if it was episode 237. I was pulling up, and yes, not for nothing, I guess, you know, the universe is manifesting how it's manifesting because it came right in time. I definitely dropped my t-shirt line. Shouts out to Lotus Life.
Hey, shout
and
out.
I just recently, you know, I just recently put it together. So it came out in time, and I was able to bring you guys some t-shirts. You know what I'm saying?
Sir.
So I also said next time I do the podcast, I wanted to be, you know, pushing something. I wanted to have something, you know, to give to the people. And, you know, it just kind of worked out that way.
Look at our dog.
Yeah,
selling t-shirts,
you know,
DJing.
Manifesting.
2021 is all about product. And, you know what I'm saying? It's all about product and merch and really, you know, understanding. All right, we could just get into it.
Let's get into it, bro.
The pandemic, what the pandemic showed me is that, and I've been privy to this before, and, you know, people have, you know, told me this before, but America, the USA, where we live at, it's just pretty much a big corporation. It's just a big business. You know what I'm saying? It's just a big business. And to live here, you have to involve yourself in the business. You know what I'm saying? You have to involve yourself in these corporations some way, somehow. So what the pandemic showed me is that even though business might not be your thing, you have to sell something. You know what I'm saying? You have to get out there and sell something. So it's all on what you sell. Exactly. More what you like for the most part. You feel what I'm trying to say? But you cannot live in America and not sell something or have some type of business or some type of
like a revenue.
Yeah, because you're gonna always work for somebody. For the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? In the system that. So one thing the pandemic showed me was like, when I come out of this, I better be selling something. I don't care if it's socks. I don't care if it's t-shirts. I don't care if it's pencils. You know what I'm saying? Because
we're going to sell this
shit.
shit.
Because where I live at, where we are, America is basically a big corporation, and you got to be a part of that. If not, you're going to work for somebody for the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life.
You know what I'm saying? And it's set up that way through minimum wage, through, you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Things like that, to whereas you'll never be able to elevate. You get what I'm trying to say? It's like.
Wow, that was episode 48.
The
last time that he was here?
That's what it was?
Yeah, my bad.
Oh, damn.
I'm about to cut, but bro, I'm blown away because I thought it was early. I would thought it was sooner.
But
like recent.
So now I'm like okay, 9. What you said? 9:48.
9:48.
And then 151.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's balanced.
Yeah. The universe is putting me where I need to be.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Every time. Single time.
Each episode.
Divine timing.
So a job is always just gonna keep us.
It's always gonna keep you. It's always, you know,
gonna keep you needing more.
It's always gonna keep you working for somebody. It's always gonna keep you dependent on somebody. You know what I'm saying? So understanding where we live at, understanding how America works. You got to sell something. You got to be business minded. You got to do something to whereas you're not going to be working for somebody
for
the rest of your life.
Where did that business mind come from?
Well, it came from I ain't even gonna lie to you, it came from through the hardships, through going through the pandemic and everything closing and not having the DJ and the clubs to depend on, not having the personal training to depend on. I had no product. You know what I'm saying? My product was basically my blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
Or my effort. You get what I'm trying to say? And I'm like, damn, like, what I'm gonna do?
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? What I'm gonna do? So, just a lot of watching, people like Master P.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nipsey Hussle, like our hip hop legends, people who we look up to.
Yeah.
And, their approach to, Baby and just all the,
the ones that were
making
the money,
who
not
getting the
just
money
off of rap.
Exactly, and their approach to things. We could throw Puffy in there, Jay-Z, Ross, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like all their, if you would want to say, accomplishments, because of course, music's an accomplishment, but all their, came outside of the music. It was selling something. You know what I'm saying? It was having that business mind of not being dependent on the music. So for me, I'm like, I don't want to be depending on the DJing. You know what I'm saying? I gotta just get some products. So 2020 and this whole pandemic and the world shutting down showed me that when I come out of this, I gotta be selling something. And for me, it was T-shirts. So Lotus Life. You know what I'm saying? It's my
That's
T-shirt brand.
And I feel like it goes with you.
Nah, it definitely goes with me. I chose the name.
Yeah.
I chose the name purposely. You know what I mean? Because for me, if I'm getting into business, right, coming from where I'm coming from spiritually, you know what I'm saying? The business world is you're gonna come across a lot of things that's gonna kind of make you deviate from who you are spiritually, because the business world is just has no morals. You get what I'm trying to say?
It's almost like designed that way.
Exactly. So for me, I wanted to base my business or whatever I'm getting into or whatever I'm selling on something righteous. You feel what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Base it on something righteous. So my foundation of it is righteousness. It's for good. You know what I'm saying? So I chose the lotus flower just for the symbolism of the lotus flower.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? So if you know anything about the lotus flower, the reverence of it kind of started in Africa, on the Nile Valley civilization. And they looked, because, they looked to nature for a lot of things, but they looked to the lotus flower for a lot of things, you know what I mean? And they looked at it for many different reasons. One of the main reasons was it was a microcosm for life. If you know anything about the lotus flower, it starts in the mud, right, of some pond, some lake, somewhere, void of oxygen, void of light. It starts in the murkiest, deepest, darkest place you could think of, right? And it has to fight through the water, right, all the way through the water, and then it blossoms into this beautiful flower. So, our ancestors, they looked at the lotus flower as just kind of a microcosm for life, being able to be born in one of the worst conditions ever, fight through adversity, and blossom into something beautiful. You know what I mean? That's one of the reasons why they looked at the lotus flowers. Many reasons. So for me, right, coming from, because I'm also Buddhist, right? And in Buddhism, they look at the lotus flower for the same thing, for the same reason. The ancient Egyptians, even in Hindu, the lotus flower is the flower of India. So, it's the same body of knowledge, right, being carried. But for me, it tied into my ancestors, on the African side, and it also tied into Buddhism. So when I was starting my company, I wanted to just base it in something that was righteous, and also for me, that, that made sense. And smoking and what I'm gonna, I got T-shirts. What I'm gonna do? You feel what I'm saying? What Killa K gonna do? You know what I'm saying? What Killa K gonna do? And then it just
that on the T-shirt.
Exactly. And then it was just the lotus flower. You know what I'm saying? Because what the lotus flower represents. So for me, Lotus Life, right, is anybody. It could be anybody born in a dark place or that's in a dark place, fighting through adversity, trying to blossom into something beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're all kind of living that Lotus life.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? Because as soon as you're born, you know, and I don't want to make this, you know, kind of religious or whatever, but, you know.
Do you?
You know.
Go off, King.
You know what I'm saying? In Christianity and, you know, the Abrahamic religions, they'll kind of say you're born into sin, meaning that as soon as you're born, you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So you kind of spend your whole life fighting through adversity, just trying to blossom into something beautiful. You get what I'm trying to say? So for me, living that Lotus life is just basically being born in the dark, fighting through adversity, and trying to blossom into something beautiful. So everybody can relate to that because we're all, you know, got different scales. You might be, you know, it might not be as bad as it is for some people or whatever, but we're all basically born in the dark, have to fight through adversity and blossom to something beautiful. So that's why I chose the Lotus life. You get what I'm trying to say? As far as like for my t-shirts.
Yeah.
You know, and what I'm out here selling and what I'm out here pushing. You get what I'm trying to say? Because it's based in righteousness.
Do you have other ideas for that, or do you just
yeah, I got a lot. I'm going into tights, you know what I'm saying, for girls. I'm going into a lot, but I just wanted to pick something that I can do that with. You get what I'm trying to say? Because not only is it clothes, it's a whole lifestyle. You get what I'm trying to say? It's everything. It's understanding, you know, that you can make it. You can be born in a dark place, fight through adversity, and blossom into something beautiful. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's bigger than t-shirts. It's really a lifestyle. You get what I'm trying to say? A state of mind. You know, like shout out to Nip with the marathon. You know what I'm saying? And the whole marathon concept and the never end. It's the same thing with the Lotus life. It's bigger than clothes. It's kind of, you know, a lifestyle, a way of life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? A way of life, and always understanding that you're going to fight through adversity, but you can always blossom into something beautiful. You know?
Yeah. It's funny because we had a guest on here couple of like maybe 10 episodes ago, and she's an author, and she has this book called Create Your Own Magic, right? And she was on here and we were speaking on how she like loves Nip and everything about him, and that's who she listens to all the time. And I was reading her book and she actually mentions him in the book, like it's because it's a 60-day type of book. So it's like something for every single day, and like it's like affirmations and self-love and just different elements of that. And she mentions it in one of the days, and I was just like, oh wow, this is awesome. Like reading hip hop in a book was really dope to me. Like something that I know is like good for me, like the manifestation and creating my own magic. And I think I'm on like when the episode drops, I'm going to be further, but on today I'm like on day 43 or something like that out of 60 days. So I feel awesome.
I want to see that.
I
love
that.
A book. I want to see
yes.
it. Yeah.
I'll show it to you.
Yeah,
I'll show it to you after the episode because it's really dope. She came on here and we had a great time. She's an author. She also is a baker, and she's done like cakes for like really famous people that she doesn't even know.
I want to see that book.
Yeah,
Nip definitely was a monster.
Yeah. So
different.
she definitely mentions him in like one of the things, and so it was really cool. I'm really excited to have you here because as an outsider looking into your life as soon as the pandemic hit, I just want to say that it has been very interesting.
I mean, shit, who you telling?
Because number one, I know that you're a DJ, so I knew that your thing is DJing, going to these clubs, and during the shutdown, all of that was done,
and the curfew.
So then seeing you like go from that to like DJing even on live, you did that. I remember jumping on your live sometimes. And like that was like that was like the thing. That was like what everybody was doing. I would do lives like for open mics, like for people to come on and perform, like that's what our life was.
It was.
So during during that time, what was like your mind state? Like what were you thinking during that time?
My mind state during that time was adapting. You know what I'm saying?
Great word.
Adapting. In Buddhism, they teach you that, change is constant. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to get used to anything in life, it's change, right? So for me, it was adapting. It was like, okay, damn, people going to still want to hear me play music. People going to still, you know what I'm saying, want to hear DJ, want to go play. What's the next thing? If it's, if it's going on live, well then shit. I'm setting my little shit up, and I'm on live, and I, you know what I'm saying? But for me, it was just like, okay, the world's changing, but we still gotta adapt. Instead of, you know, like being on some, damn, what the fuck, oh shit, the world's over. You just gotta adapt. And I was just always thinking about how I'm gonna adapt. What's the next thing? You know what I'm saying? Where I'm gonna get my next dollar from, even if it wasn't with the DJing, you know what I mean? If it was Uber Eats or it was something else. So the whole pandemic, I was just thinking like, damn, okay, how I'm gonna adapt, how I'm gonna, you know, because that's all it was. It wasn't, you know, because not for me.
That's what all of us had to do.
Yeah, not for me. I wasn't too messed up about the like the kind of quarantine kind of vibes, because I'm a kind of quarantine. I was quarantined before the quarantine. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't too much of that. It was just being able to do what I love and going out and share my gift.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
For people, how am I going to share my gift? Because my gift is definitely not a, if you would want to say, technology-based gift. It's more or less like energy.
Yeah.
And people got to feel my energy. You get what I'm trying to say? Whether it's the DJing in the club or it's the training. You know, so for me, it was like, damn, that was fucked up for me. You know what I mean? Because you really can't get the same energy through a live that I could give you if we in the club. You feel me?
It's not the same.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you feel what I'm trying to say? And this is nothing against, you know, like training on Zoom or training on, you know, a lot of trainers do that, but it's a different experience if I'm in the room with you as opposed to, you know what I'm saying, me telling you to do something over the Zoom or over the computer or over the TV. So that for me, you know, was the biggest thing. Was like, damn, how I'm gonna be able to share that energy. But I knew I could adapt because I'm a adapter. You know what I'm saying?
You got to.
Yeah, if we're doing this now, then I'm on that.
Yeah, you adapt to the times.
I'm never the one to be, you know, stuck in anything, anywhere, or any place.
So I know you to be one of the first people that I've seen on my timeline to actually go out and start DJing. First of all, that's cool. Yeah. Because you were one of the first ones.
Yeah, nah.
But you weren't scared?
Nah, I wasn't scared. Yeah. All right.
Like, you weren't scared? Like, hold up, bitch.
We could just go there.
You might could have it.
Nah. All right. Nah, for me, okay, here's my thing with and this, I guess, you know, I ain't want to get in my conspiracy bag.
Uh-oh.
But even the word conspiracy, you know, is really not conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even use that word. It's just, you know, a different way of thinking. But for me, I wasn't scared because, and this is just my view of it.
All of you shared by Mr. Killa K.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be.
I would say your real name, but I ain't
y'all don't come for me in the comments and stuff like that. But my whole thing was, if it was an airborne virus, or if it is an airborne virus, you know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as I open my door and go outside, I'm going to die. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and I'm not coming from no scientifically based type thing or no scientific knowledge. I don't want, you know? I'm just going on my personal, you know what I'm saying, experience.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, though.
So if it's an airborne thing, right? As soon as I open my door, as soon as I do anything, I'm going to be exposed to it. You feel what I'm trying to say? So, not to say don't wear masks, because I don't want to be that guy. You feel what I'm trying to say? But I feel like wearing masks is more to kind of, for other people to be safe.
Yeah, it's like a shield, like a protection.
But it's not going to stop no virus.
Exactly.
That's how I feel. You know what I'm trying to say? That's how I feel. So, with that said, if I go outside and, you know what I'm saying, I'm okay, I got to go get that money. You feel what I'm trying to say? I got to go get that money. And then, you know, as it got, because you got to remember, when it first started, it was like everything. Oh my God, what's going on? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, motherfuckers.
But as you know, they started, you know, doing more research on it, I was seeing if you kind of stay healthy and live a healthy lifestyle, not to say you don't got to worry about nothing, but you kind of gonna be okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was hearing like to kill it, if you drink tea 3 times a day. You feel what I'm trying to say? You could kill it or whatever. So I'm hearing little things like that. So
I heard the same thing.
Yeah. So I'm like, damn, I drink tea every day.
Me too.
You get what I'm trying to say?
I actually really want tea right now.
So once I'm hearing like, you know, that it doesn't stay on surfaces and like, you know, it was just like everywhere on how to protect yourself from it and things like that. So once it got kind of like that, I knew it was like, not to say it's not serious.
Yeah.
Because it's serious, but I knew from who I am and how I lived my life and being that I worked out and, you know what I mean, I did precautions, I'm going to be all right. You feel what I'm trying to say? And then bottom line is still had to eat.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm trying to say? Like my landlord ain't care. You feel what I'm trying to say? Like my bill collectors ain't care that it wasn't no I mean, the government ain't even care. They only gave me a stack. You feel me? I ain't even get unemployment. So what I'm gonna do?
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? I couldn't even afford to be on some like
be scared.
Nah, I had to go. You know what I'm saying? I had to go because I wasn't set up in life to whereas I could even sit down and be like, nah.
Poor me.
Yeah,
little old me.
Yeah, I could. I wasn't. My life ain't set up like that. So now I wasn't. To answer your question, I wasn't scared because you know I had to get it.
Yeah,
I had to get it.
I agree with you with what you say about the virus because I was around somebody actually very closely that had it and I never got it, and nobody else got it.
Now for me, it's like, and I hate to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? It's my whole slogan for the day. I hate to be that guy. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess, like, for me, not to say, I don't want to, you know, I ain't even going to go there. Because I want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to, like, I don't want to be.
Go there, man. Go there.
I don't want to be that guy. But
be that guy. Be that guy.
If it's in the air, we all dead.
I don't think it's in the air. I think
that's what they said.
That's what they were definitely saying.
But that's why we're wearing the mask, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No, we're wearing the mask because apparently it could be transmitted through like droplets from your mouth or like from your nose or like things like that.
All right,
that's
so
why
enlighten me because I don't want to be on here talking crazy
no,
like
no,
it's
no.
not an airborne.
No,
so you know what I'm trying to say. So enlighten me too.
I agree because like right now, I feel like we at one point had it kind of like in check to where we knew how it was we didn't know how it was being transmitted. Once, of course, like we've now been we're March. We're now in December.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. We had some time to kind of like see what it could do, and I feel like the reason why they have the masks is, of course, to protect themselves.
Yeah.
Because when you go to a restaurant. You're allowed to not have your mask on, and then but when you go to the bathroom, it's just like a protection.
A lot of inconsistencies.
It's all of these companies just saving their asses because the last thing that they want is for you to be like, well, I went to your establishment and I got COVID.
This is what I was gonna say. What happened to the common cold or the flu?
Those are still out here, though.
These things don't exist anymore. Like what?
Nah, because they're just chalking it up to COVID.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. So,
but not
if before, like say, like, how if you had a cold, like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna come around you because you had a cold or something. You get what I'm trying to say, or you got a fever, or you get what I'm trying to say. Like these things. What happened to these things?
But what's also happening is that some people are believing that it's just a common cold or the flu, and once they go ahead and get tested, it comes back as it's COVID. It comes back. And they're not.
So COVID, but this is my thing too. Like the symptoms are similar to the flu and a cold, right?
Yeah.
So it's like damn, dog.
Like everything is just chalked up to that.
Everything is everything is COVID now. That's my whole thing. Like
you can't even sneeze normal.
Yeah,
what
happened
to
the common cold?
Looking at you like you're crazy.
But like, I don't want to be that guy. You know, I get it. I don't want to sit here and talk like it's not that serious. I want everybody to take precautions. I'm just me though.
Wear your mask.
Yeah, wear your mask. If you had to stay inside,
wash your hands, wash your ass.
But how my life set up, nah, I couldn't stay inside. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you.
I had to go out there.
I feel you. I mean,
as soon as a little crack in the door.
And you've been working. You told me that you work like 6 nights, 7 nights, 7 days a week, basically.
Because I don't want to be on here sounding crazy, but the party's never gonna stop.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially in Miami.
The party's never gonna stop. You could do curfew. You could tell us. Nah, the party's never gonna stop. People gonna get out and do what they do, and then
or throw a party at their house.
Exactly, and then a DJ is always gonna be needed.
Yeah, you always need a DJ.
A DJ is always gonna be needed. So, if you connected, if you tied in, you know what I mean. And for me, that's why it worked out, because I was connected. I was tied into the streets. I was tied into the underground, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So as soon as that opened back up, I was getting them calls, and I was out there. It was a warehouse, if it was whatever. I had to get it.
Your granny's house.
Yeah, and I don't want to be one of those guys like I'm a COVID spreader. You know what I'm saying? And I was outside all crazy, but
he's asymptomatic.
Yeah, the way my life was set up, boy, I had to go out there. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I mean, yeah, you had to do what you had to do out here hustling.
My landlord, he wasn't still talking about pay me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
you didn't say don't worry about it?
Yeah, it was almost out of necessity. You know what I'm saying? The necessity of it kind of superseded the danger of it.
But isn't it also a blessing? Because essentially, you're a DJ.
Yeah.
So isn't it amazing that the thing that you are very passionate about was what evenly saved you?
Yeah, definitely.
In this pandemic.
But that's how I kind of know this is my calling, DJing.
Talk about your purpose, King. Tell them about that.
DJing is really my purpose, because I've been able to accomplish everything I've ever wanted to accomplish through DJing. It took some time, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. It took years. But everything I've ever wanted to accomplish, as far as, whatever, getting a car, getting a crib, traveling, you know what I'm saying, meeting certain people I've wanted to meet, has come through DJing. So I know for sure DJing is my purpose. You get what I'm trying to say? Now, understanding that DJing is my purpose, I also have a purpose in life. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I also have a purpose as a human being. So it's all about, okay, DJing is my purpose. How am I using? Because all DJing really is just a talent.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? As big as I could sit here and say it's my purpose, but it's really just a talent. You know what I'm saying? So understanding me as a human being, I got a purpose in life. How am I going to use my talent, right? And I'm understanding it's part of my purpose, but it's really just a talent. How am I going to use that for bigger things?
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? For what my purpose is in life. Why am I on this earth?
Yeah.
For
me, what I have been actually writing lately is that this podcast is the vehicle to, because this is a talent.
Yeah.
Like essentially this
is just a talent.
This is a talent. Exactly. So it's literally the vehicle that's going to take me to what my exact purpose is.
Exactly.
And I'm going to reach it by continuing to do this.
Finding your purpose, and this for anybody out there listening who might not, have a purpose or understand or trying to find your purpose. Finding your purpose comes from doing stuff you like, right? Just doing just regular stuff you like. What do you like to do? If it might be, buying sneakers, you know what I'm saying? It might be
flipping them hoes or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
if you're a sneakerhead,
buying
then,
and selling.
Reselling might be your thing.
Them.
You get what I'm trying to say? But your purpose just comes from, what do you like to do in the beginning?
Like what's going to make you happy?
If you follow what you like to do, what's going to make you happy, it'll lead you to your purpose. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to think too hard like, oh my God, what was I put here to do? Start by, what do you like to do? You know what I'm saying? What makes you happy? What can you get up and do every day and not get paid for?
Yeah.
And that's going to lead you to your purpose. You know what I'm saying? That's going to lead you to your purpose. And for me, music has always been my life. Like, every day I got up in the morning, I was playing something. I was, you know what I'm saying? In middle school, they called me radio because I knew every song on the radio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was just always my life. So I knew if it wasn't DJing, it would be something with music. You know what I mean?
I've gotten called boombox.
Hey, I can relate.
Boombox.
So I know music something having to do with music was part of my purpose or part of my calling, you know.
Definitely.
But as I get more, as I get older and I get more educated and more knowledgeable, I understand that your purpose, is to be a good human being and live along those lines. You know what I'm saying? But DJing might be your talent or basketball or whatever. But it's bigger than that. You get what I'm trying to say? That is just a level of your purpose.
Yeah. So I'm a little curious.
Talk to me.
So you're a DJ.
Yes, ma'am.
And also we have been going through a pandemic. So I'll be a little nosy because I want to know how your dating life has been.
How my dating life has been?
We have never talked about this on this here with you. But listen.
You want to go down that way?
Listen.
Go down that way?
I need to know like some pandemic stories.
That's crazy. Damn. The Bachelor.
He said, "I'll put my phone on silent. Make sure."
My phone on. Make sure my phone. Nah, I'm playing.
Turn my location off.
That's gonna give you in trouble right there. You might have to edit that out. Nah, I'm playing. How my date?
Okay.
How my dating life was during the pandemic? Well, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm not a big dater. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not like my DMs is dry. My text messages is dry. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm not what I found out about the dating world and just, women, period, or in that lifestyle. To have a lot of women, you got to talk to a lot of women. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, it's almost got to be a grind. You feel what I'm trying to say? Because let's just say
I felt that too hard.
Yeah, nah. Let's just say
right.
Let's just say you all at 10 girls in a day. You know what I'm saying? For whoever, if you on that, because you really got to be on that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Be up.
Yeah, you gonna get like 8 no's. You feel what I'm trying to say? You gonna get like 8 no's. You get what I'm trying to say? And for me, I never was a person that's to be like, damn, hollering at this girl, hollering at this girl, hollering at this girl. I've been more like a
player president.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? If they come my way, we get to know each other. And like, so for me, I wouldn't say I'm a big dater. Like, I'm out with a girl every other night. You know what I'm saying? I'm more like a,
get to know her?
Yeah, find my one little friend, and then we just, we just vibe, and we just, you know what I'm saying? Like,
man.
and we cool, and yeah, you know what I'm trying to say? And that leads into the relationship. But I've never been like the guy, I got a date on Friday, a date on Saturday, I got a date, you know what I'm saying? Because that in itself is a grind, and I've always been passionate about my music and other things.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Cute.
saying?
Have you had the little friend vibe during the pandemic?
With the vibe.
You see how I shifted there, right? You saw the curve, right?
Yes. I mean, it's okay. It's
okay. I ain't gonna
we
lie
ain't
to you.
black now.
We ain't black.
I'm presently not in a relationship.
Okay.
But I guess I got a couple friends out there, I just lately just been on some like since I got spiritual, you know what I'm saying? I also got spiritual with the dating. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying?
It's also more purposeful.
Yeah, so I really don't want no more low vibrations anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm vibrating super high. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's like you're gonna meet a lot of people who they're beautiful, right?
But their energy is like...
But they're vibrating low. And they may not even know it. You get what I'm trying to say? They might not even know it because that's just where they're at in life. You get what I'm trying to say? But where I'm at in life, like...
You can't afford to go down either.
And it's not even about going down. It's just... I've understand the frequency and the balance. You know what I'm saying? Of the masculine and the feminine, and then understanding like vibrations, and you know what I'm saying, and vibrating high, and then the things that you need to be doing to be vibrating high and stay there. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And then when you're in the opposite sex, if you don't see it, right? it's a clash. And that's what I'm kind of dealing with too right now. You get what I'm trying to say is because everybody might not know it, right? And it's not on me to be like, yo, stop what you're doing, stop eating that, stop doing this, stop doing that. You get what I'm trying to say? The things that are kind of make you vibrate kind of low. You get what I'm trying to say? But if you don't know, you don't know. So for me, I'm on a level, like I'm so high right now that if I'm not meeting the same kind of frequency, I don't even go down that route.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? Like I don't even
so much time.
Yeah, I don't even go down that route because I'm past the physical thing where I'm at in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, dog, I love sex as much as anybody else. You feel what I'm trying to say? I'm still a, young, dumb, and full of. I'll let you finish that. You know I'm old. We'll say I'm old, dumb, and full of because I'm old now. You know what I'm old, dumb, and full of. Nah. But I understand, like, I'm over the physical and I'm over the just wham bam and blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean to be out here talking like I'm some love guru or whatever, but I'm just saying this is me personally, fellas, where I'm at in my life.
Yeah.
Like it's bigger than just the physical.
Yeah.
And if the vibration ain't matching, if then I don't even go down that route. So for me, like with the dating, that's tough. You get what I'm trying to say? That's tough because I really gotta like, and sometimes I feel like, damn, am I being too hard on the opposite sex, or am I being too hard on the girl? You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. But it's like
you're already hard on yourself.
Yeah, so it's like she gotta be. Yeah, she gotta.
It's not that she has to meet a certain standard, but it's just like how you're saying the frequency. Like if we can't be on the same frequency together and work off of that frequency together.
And then
how are we going to go more?
Yeah, what I always run into too also is like, if you're not willing to change, you know what I'm saying? If you're not willing to change, it's really not going to last, right? But you got to only be wanting to change, right? Not changing for me either. You feel what I'm trying to say? I don't want you to change because you fucking with me and you want to make me happy. Yeah. You get what I'm trying to say? You got to want to change for yourself. You get what I'm trying to say? And a lot of people, like, as far as like humans, like, all right, change only comes from desperation or inspiration. You know what I'm trying to say? You got to be on one of these two things. Way over here on desperation, way over here on inspiration. If you're in the middle, you're never going to change. You know what I'm saying? You're never going to change. So it's like people only change, like just say, for instance, let's just talk about weight loss and stuff. They only change when in the hospital. And the doctor's saying, bro, you
gotta lose weight.
So then that's desperation. So then the nigga's like, okay, damn, I ain't finna eat that shit no more. I'm gonna die, right? Yeah. Or you get inspired. You have some type of spiritual awakening, some, you know what I'm saying, epiphany. Something came to you in your dream. You had a dream you were gonna die because you're 400 pounds. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's one of the two. Most people. Or
your girl left you.
Or your girl left you. You get what I'm trying to say? Most people though are always in the middle. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're never going to change. So what I'm dealing with is, like, if you don't want to change for yourself, like, who am I to say, get like K or try to vibe how I'm vibing? You know what I'm saying?
Come to my level.
Yeah, they got to kind of want it. So it's like I'm struggling to find I guess you want to say the equal, like.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm trying to say?
Because, of course, like
So that's where I'm at with dating, if that makes
your
any sense.
Your standards, your boundaries. Your standards, your boundaries, everything changes when you get older. And
everything changes. Everything changes. You know what I'm
what's
saying?
also important, and I feel like with singlehood, what it teaches you is also it teaches you how to love yourself more.
Yeah.
And so once you know how to love yourself, it's easy to know what love doesn't look like.
Exactly.
Like the way that you...
That was the real. That was a bomb. Drop a bomb for that over there. That was a bomb.
Yeah. So it's really easy to know like that doesn't look like love. So I don't want any part of that. And I'm really happy that you're in that time of your life as well, because I feel like it's important, because that's the only way that you're gonna be able to find, your equal.
And then too, like
your partner.
Yeah, and then too, it comes from like in your environment too, and then like I'm. By choice, because what I love to do, like I'm in the Miami nightlife. You know what I'm saying? Like every day. So it's gonna be kind of hard to find
a girl who's gonna understand
in the type of environments that I be in. You get what I'm trying to say? It's not like not to say you can't find love in the club, but y'all know how that go. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Of anything of substance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Say that's worth, like, it's gonna be tough to find it in my environment where I'm at. You get what I'm trying to say? So that's where I'm at with it. Just
especially when you're trying to vibe with someone.
Have you ever experienced like girls being like hella jealous because of where you were?
Yeah, that's another thing I've been going through from the jump since I've jumped behind the DJ booth. You know what I'm saying? And then it being worse that, you know what I'm saying, the strip club element and all that, like, man, you want to know the fights I done been through? Y'all don't want to know. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, and then for me, like, I'm going to give you an example. This is just for y'all. This is
maybe we don't want to know, but the listeners may.
This is just for y'all. I'm going to give y'all some exclusive shit of my personal life since we're, you know what I mean?
We here. I'll share some of mine if you want to.
All right, so with the dating, right? In the beginning, right? Because, okay, damn, how can I phrase this and not offend anybody? You know what I'm saying? I don't call them exes. I call them experiences. All right? Experiences. One of my experiences, right, was when I kind of first started in, you know what I mean, as far as like in the strip clubs and DJing, you know what I'm saying? I had an experience, right? And my whole thing was like, all right, as much as I'm in the strip club and I'm DJing, it's still my job. You feel what I'm trying to say? It's still work. It's still serious, and it should be taken as such, right? So as far as like my partner, just because I work at the club, right, doesn't necessarily mean you could come hang out because I'm still working, right? I can't go to your job and hang out with you. You feel what I'm trying to say? In your cubicle or wherever you work at. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, your boyfriend can't just come sit down in your booth. You get what I'm trying to say? So for me, that's how I approached it, right? But I would see in my experience, like, problems. Because, you know what I'm saying? Now, even you could be 100% faithful, do your job, get out of there. They don't know because they don't see it. They're not there. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's problems. So in the beginning, I was stern, like, no, you know what I'm saying? This is my job. You can't come, blah, 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 whatever. That experience didn't work out. So then my next experience, right, I was like, all right, I'm going to do the total opposite. I went through so much.
Switch up the playbook.
Yeah, I went through so much drama, right, with my other experience about not coming to the club. You feel what I'm saying? With my new experience, I'm just going to just come. You feel what I'm trying to say? Because I don't do anything anyway. I'm a dude. I always stay in the DJ booth. I never, because I approach it like a real job.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm trying to say?
Working.
As much as everything going on, she naked over here, they doing something in the corner, there's girl on girl over there, blah, blah, blah. I'm DJing. You know what I'm saying? That's none of my business, right? I'm DJing. So I never had a problem. So I was like, okay, come. Right? So this is now a new experience. She comes now and more problems, because now I'm talking on the mic different to one girl than I'm talking to the other girl. And why am I doing that? She's asking me questions like that. And me, I'm like, I'm just talking. That's just what I do. You get what I'm trying to say? But different scenarios, different.
This is wild.
Like different scenarios, different scenarios I would go through on both ends. Even if, you know what I'm saying? You
thought you were doing the right thing on
exactly.
one end, you thought you were, and then the other. Damn.
So she, you know what I'm saying? So now my new experience is beefing with, you know, certain people in the club, and why, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, okay.
Why you say her name like that?
It's a lot, like, okay.
Yeah. Why'd you introduce her like that?
Or like,
why you said damn when she fucking busted it wide open? I'm the fucking DJ here.
They hired me.
You feel me?
They hired me.
So I seen I can't win.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm trying to say? On both spectrums, either one I can't win.
Yeah.
So then I just said, you know what? Fuck it. And I just accepted it. You know what I'm saying? And any woman who's with me, where I'm at in my life right now, is just gonna have to accept it. You feel what I'm trying to say? Because I tried both. I tried treating it like it's a job. You can't come. Oh man, super problems. I tried. Okay, nothing happening. Come, same problems. You feel what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So that's another thing too. I ain't gonna lie to. Probably would be why my shit so crazy right now is because that'll be for any woman I'm dating. I mean, that's just me on the outside looking in. That'll be tough. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see, like.
K is like fighting with himself right now internally.
Because I'm just trying to put myself in my girlfriend's shoes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And let me stop giving the game because it's probably strip club DJs out there that got girlfriends and you know what I'm saying? My head
but that's the thing that's the beauty.
It's tough.
It's different for everybody.
Yeah. I would say it's definitely different. But it's tough though. It's tough because like I literally my job is, you know what I'm saying? Like I see naked girls every day.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm trying to say? Like every day. So the temptation, right? If and that's another thing why, you know.
Not only is a temptation there, but the aura of a woman is constantly there.
Constantly.
Like constantly.
All the
like
time.
Like the perfume,
all
the
time.
smell,
and then it's
the
like,
body.
And then it's like, okay, and then it's, all right, I'm going to give you another scenario, right?
I'm smelling like.
I'm going to give you another scenario over there. I'm going to give you another scenario, right? And I might be giving up too much, so I'm going to just give this up. And this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you should have been taking notes from the beginning.
In the strip club, right, the relationship is kind of different, right? You feel what I'm trying to say? If you're in it every day. Because these girls now, as much as they're strippers, they're your co-workers.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm trying to say? They're your co-workers.
And just because she's naked.
Exactly. You feel what I'm trying to say?
Still
like
your co-worker.
She's still my co-worker. You feel what I'm trying to say? So like, okay, a hug and a smack on the ass, right? For us, it's just, hey, you came to work today. Hey, what going on? Blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? But if you're in a relationship with him or whatever, that could look like, damn, you doing too much. You feel what I'm trying to say? You're doing too much when we
that's a hello.
Yeah, that's a hello. That's just how we vibe. Like, I don't want to fuck her. She don't want to fuck me. You know what I'm saying? But it's just where we're at. It's just how we vibe. You get what I'm trying to say? So
he's comfortable.
Yeah,
with
if you're not in that life, it may be hard to explain that to somebody.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm trying to say?
I think I believe one of the greatest examples of a partner who isn't too like crazy about all that shit is Dave Chappelle's wife. Cause like he'll say like some wild ass shit on his stand-ups.
Yeah.
And she has always been like understanding of what it is that, you know, he's doing. Cause sometimes like he'll joke about, you know,
definitely
like fucking a bitch or like whatever it is.
See, that's what I'm saying. It gotta be an understanding.
And so
gotta be an understanding.
For me, honestly, what helps me is number one, doing what I'm doing. Cause I would feel that my partner would have to understand that, you know, I'm gonna be cool as hell with dudes, you know, that are going to just love me to death because they have seen me grow. They have, you know, they see what I'm doing. They see that I'm ambitious, but that's what it is. You know what I mean? So that's something that I've always seen for myself. So when I think about what my partner is doing, I have to kind of put that branch over there too. Be like, okay, you have to also be understanding that they are also going to whatever field you're in, period, there's gonna be bitches around.
There's gonna be. That's
like, I don't mean to call y'all bitches. I just don't know y'all names.
Nah, there's gonna be same way like.
Or like men, there's gonna be
go back
men.
to the co-workers. Like, come on, people, you know, work in the office and sleep with their co-worker every day.
There's like, there's like office husbands and like,
exactly.
It doesn't matter. So, because it could happen. It's crazy because it could not happen at the strip club, but it can happen at the office and not the strip club. I mean, like, like the office.
Yeah, for all my out of towners.
Yeah, for those of you that are not from
strip
Miami.
Club, the office. We talking about the real office,
where you go to work and punch in.
Not the one down here, but you know what I'm saying. But nah, definitely, man, it could happen anywhere.
Yeah.
And just basically just to wrap it all up and just to answer your question.
What was the question?
It's been tough. Just relationship. Just relationship. It's been tough.
I mean
it's been tough.
The single market is pretty ashy. Like,
I mean, you know, but not for nothing.
That's why
she would definitely have to be very understanding, right? And definitely have to be
in the inspired sense.
Yeah, like having to be definitely understanding of me. But I don't want to sit here and make it like I'm a dictatorship, because I would also be understanding of her too, because it's both ways.
Yeah.
But just know where I'm at with my passion and where I'm at in my life. Like, and that's why I think a lot of relationships kind of get messed up too, is like, I'm just speaking from the male perspective.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to speak for me. Whoa.
I may speak from the women.
But I'm just, you know, and this, I don't know, this might not be you know, this might ruffle a little feathers, but fuck it, we here.
Ruffle them.
Skirts.
I feel like a guy, right, in life has, back to what we were talking about, has a purpose. You feel what I'm trying to say? I'm just speaking from the male perspective. And a lot of times through relationships, not even relationships, through, could be a lot of different things, but a lot of times it is relationships. You kind of deviate from your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of deviate from your purpose. So to whereas you go from,
I might learn something here.
You go from your purpose, right, to almost, what's her purpose?
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm trying to say? What's her purpose? And not to say that I don't want to, how could I phrase this? And not, I just feel like a man has a purpose in life, and he has to be 100% devoted to his purpose for it to work. Mm-hmm. And his female partner has to understand that.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm trying to say? Has to understand that totally.
Well,
and anything that deviates him from his purpose, right? Or would inhibit him from, you know what I'm saying? Finding his purpose. Mm-hmm. He needs to not be a part of. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Any distraction, anything. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of marriages don't work out, because one of them doesn't feel like they're living their purpose.
I feel like that too, right? I feel like a lot of marriages don't work out, right? From the male perspective, is because when it comes to purpose and it comes to passion, right? As far as getting money, it has to be from the depths of that. You feel what I'm trying to say? It has to be from the depths of your passion. What do you like to do? Right? As far as getting money. A lot of people just chasing the money, and it's not really their passion. So they'll go through their whole life, and they'll have families, and they'll, you know what I'm saying, have kids and marriages, and just be miserable, right? Because they've been chasing the money, so they're stuck in a job to support the family, to support the wife, to support, but it's not really what he likes to do. So you're 40, 50, 60, and you're stuck, you know what I'm saying, in this marriage, this dead-end job and all that, because
what you thought you was living your purpose.
You deviated from your purpose.
Exactly.
Because you made your partner your purpose.
Exactly.
Ooh, wow.
There you go, Hob. Drop a bomb for that. Drop a bomb for that.
Drop a bomb for yourself, Hob.
And I don't want to, I just want to make sure I'm speaking clear, because I don't want to make this seem like it's a male chauvinistic thing. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm trying to say? I'm just speaking.
With the word.
Yeah, I'm just speaking from the male perspective. We all have a purpose. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times you deviate from your purpose, and you start, you know, like you said, making the female your purpose. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, we could even get deeper. Like
we can, because I feel like I did that at one point in one of my relationships. So
I feel like, you know what I'm saying, even though the woman might not say it, right, or might not even know how to express it, right, but when you, like, say you get a guy, right, and you meet him and he's a mechanic, fixing on cars all day, that's him, boy, nigga, cars, you know what I'm saying? And then you get him now, because you want that time, you know what I'm saying, you get him to stop working on cars and coming to chill with you. So now he's only working on cars maybe twice a week. Before it was every day, you know what I'm saying? So slowly but surely he's kind of deviating from his purpose to where he gets all the way about you. Mm-hmm. Women now,
I don't want that.
There you go. Women now see that as a sign of, and I hate to use this word, but weakness. You know what I'm saying? And I want to use weakness, or maybe along the lines of they're not.
It's not weakness for me. It's just like
you're not secure anymore. So now you feel what I'm trying to say? Like your purpose, you're not 100% in it. Mm-hmm. So now you as a woman are worrying about the future. What are we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? What is all right? It's kind of shaky now. You feel what I'm trying to say? It's kind of shaky because
shit's a little wobbly.
Yeah, because now he's all about you. He's not working no money. The money's slow. The money's slow. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like.
For me, it wouldn't even be so much about the money. For me, it would be more along the lines of like, I don't think you're happy.
All right. But that's what I'm saying. I didn't want to use the word weak, but I'm just saying like it's kind of more. She becomes. It's like a discomfort. You know what I'm saying?
It's just like you go always be up under me.
That's what I'm saying.
As you start becoming unattractive.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like when guys start deviating from their purpose, but it's a give and a take too. You feel what I'm trying to say? Because the woman also has to be understanding. But then, not to say the woman is here for the man's purpose her whole life. You get what I'm trying to say? Like I don't want to say that, but she definitely has to attribute to his purpose.
Something that I would like to add is
if that makes any sense out there.
Yeah. Something that I would like to add is there are some men who go into relationships or situationships or whatever it is that you want to call it, and they themselves don't know what their purpose is. Yeah, that too. And then that's something that I feel gets missed a lot in dating because I know for myself, like, I am dating because now I know my purpose. Now that I figured that out, I think I'm cool. Like, I can go see what's really going on, with what's going on out there and seeing what's gonna work for me because 100%. Now I know my purpose. I know the queen that I'm going to be, and now I just need somebody who's gonna be the counterpart to that.
100%.
So I need to go into that situation with my purpose already done, and I feel like it should be the same way. So that way, when the conversation ever comes up, and I believe that it should, like, what do you think your purpose is on this earth? I feel like those are people always want to ask about like how much they spending on the first date, but they ain't asking the real questions.
That's what I'm saying. That too.
Like,
So
I want to know what your purpose is.
Yeah, so
like, what you really about, exactly. Bruh? Like, so what we really talking about?
Yeah, you'll be out there dating, and you know what I mean. 3 months, 6 months, a year go by, and you're with this person, and it's all superficial. You know what I'm saying? It's all superficial.
I don't have time for superficial. I already get that on social media.
You know what I'm saying? It's all superficial. So I feel you out here. I ain't, but I'm still out here looking out here.
No, listen.
You know what I'm saying? All my ladies out there listening, like, hey, my life crazy. You know what I'm saying? My life crazy.
Want a shot, man.
My life crazy, but I am.
Don't let the stripper pictures on Instagram fool you, ladies.
Don't fool. No,
Kay is a gentleman. He brought me flowers. He brought me a shirt.
I'm a one-woman man. You know what I'm saying? When I get in a relationship, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a cheater. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, at least at this point in my life, I ain't on that. If you're out there listening, ladies, but it's tough though. You know what I'm saying? It's tough because I'm 100% rooted in my purpose, and I found out like in my life. Why my relationships or my experiences kind of didn't work out is because I feel like I deviated from my purpose. You know what I'm saying? I deviated from my purpose, but it took some time. And it took me going through that to understand. You know what I'm saying? But I'm 100% rooted in my purpose, and I'm a workaholic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a hustler. Like, so it's gonna be tough. She just gotta understand. But if she can understand, it could work out. And I'm also understanding of her situation too. So. It could work out, but
y'all heard that lady's case is looking for some.
My DM dry right now. I ain't gonna lie to you. DM real dry right now. Got a lot of artists in there though. No woman though.
Don't it? I got people telling me I got good music. I'm like,
fuck with y'all. Hey, artists, keep sending me the music though. Y'all know I fuck with y'all, bro. Feel me? But I'll just say it's more artists than ladies in my DM right now.
I mean, Instagram is Instagram. There's always going to be. But okay, so this just opened up a question for me.
Go ahead.
You like when the ladies slide in your DMs? Or?
I do. I love it. Because I'm so, I guess it's the Libra in me.
That's right. You are a Libra.
You know what I'm saying?
When's your birthday? Is the 3rd?
October 1st.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was going to say 3rd.
I set it off. I'm the best Libra. I set the whole month off.
All right.
King Libra.
Now, I'm
so laid back and standoffish that it kind of like turns me on. Like when a girl get at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love it personally.
Yeah.
I was never, because I'm like, I could be in a room with a beautiful girl, and if I don't get no, like, you know what I'm saying, no energy, I just won't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? I won't talk. Like, not to say I won't talk, but I won't get at her.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm trying to say? If I don't feel that, you know what I mean? Like, that energy, like, it's got to be a, you know, a look or just something. If I don't feel it, you know what I'm saying? So for a girl to just holler at me, I love that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they used to do me like that all the time, though. Like,
he said they used to.
Yeah, like, I was always like the short, little, cute, red kid in school. Mm-hmm. So, like, all the girls, hey, boy, come here, man. You cute, boy. You my boyfriend.
You my boyfriend.
You my boyfriend for the day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been approached by more females than I've hollered at. Let's just say that.
All right, so they're coming to you, Killa K.
Yeah, they.
All right now. All right now. He said
I ain't saying that like
they're coming to him.
And I ain't saying that like, you know, I'm Big Papi Chulismo out here, God damn it. But yeah.
But he's something like that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been approached by more girls than I've hollered at. But I'm just a laid back kind of guy though. I'm not really like a.
You know what's something that I tell Hav often? 9 times out of 10, the woman has already picked you.
Yeah, they have. Nah, off rip, they've picked you. They've thought about whatever they want to thought about. If they're gonna lay with you in bed, they've figured it out all
they
off
know
rip.
It's all like,
you know what I'm saying, all off rip. So I definitely know that too.
Yeah, I tell him that all the time because I feel like I do that.
I definitely know that too. You know
like I feel like I do that, and I feel like it's different when you like pick them and then it happens and you're like, oh shit, okay, cool. But like, yeah, 9 times out of 10, like she's picking you.
Yeah.
Before you even approached her,
yeah,
she was already just like, that's who.
Nah, facts.
That's who I'm swinging.
Facts.
I'm swinging this thing too. I'm just saying that is how it goes though. And 2020 has been a very crazy year.
Crazy.
So many different things have happened.
Crazy.
One of the things that the reason why I brought up dating was because this year was one of the years that I decided to like not focus on it, but be like, all right, we gonna give this a try.
Yeah, as you should.
We gonna give this a try. You know what I mean? And it's funny because people are just like, well, you know, you're a good looking girl, you're ambitious, you're this, you're that. Like, why has it been that you've been like single for all this time?
You
or
must
like
have guys lined up.
Yeah, like you must have guys lined up in your DMs and like all this stuff. And it's just like, yeah, but I don't really pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Like that's not, because I'm so purposeful. I'm so like in my purpose that it's just kind of like
so deep in your purpose sometimes you don't even know the opposite sex exists.
But what's really dope is that sometimes when you're so deep into your purpose, the person who's supposed to be for you is going to show up.
That too though.
You know what I mean?
Because
you're minding your business.
When you're deep into your purpose, right? You are making the best version of you, and they always say. You know what I'm saying? You got to make the best version of you before you meet anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or making the best version of you will enhance the chances of you meeting anybody. You get what I'm trying to say? So being rooted in your purpose makes the best version of you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to do that first to go meet that queen anyway. You know what I'm saying? So if you ain't on that and getting that, it's you know, the universe is probably not going to send it your way. You know,
or you're going to be so blind to other things that you're not going to see them.
That too.
Him or her.
Definitely.
But yeah, you're just going to be so blind to what's going, like because you're so lost because you don't know what your purpose is. So you're in a very lost and confused a world at that point. That's something that the advice that I give to like my younger cousins is just kind of like figure out what it is that you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
Once you figure out what it is that you want to do with your life, like life is just going to be so much easier.
Because I wish so much easier.
Because I knew that I wanted to do this when I was younger, but I didn't do it. I waited. And I went through that whole struggle of like having to see like, okay, this isn't going to work for me. This is definitely not going to work for me. You know what I mean?
That's one thing I've learned too is like, it comes to like manifesting things and things you want to do, like never wait, just start.
Just
you know what
do
I'm saying?
it, yeah.
Even at the most basic step, just start and doing it, and then every day. And that's how with the DJing, personal training, anything, I've succeeded in my life. That's how it started. Just you know what I'm saying? It started from with the DJing, making my first mixtape, learning how to put a mixtape together. You know what I'm saying? And then putting myself through school, learning. how to get on the turntables. Like, you know what I'm saying? These are things I did for me.
Yeah.
You know, for me. And then I've been able to, you know, accumulate all the things that I've accumulated. But it started just basic, like.
Yeah.
Just basic, simple steps. And then I'm here now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, motherfucker.
I'm here now.
Yeah, I'm very grateful to have you here because it's just
thank you.
It's just it's always great to like come and just like talk to you.
Nah,
you always have some of the best stories here.
Nah, man, love. What y'all need? Y'all need a news story? Crazy.
What you got?
Crazy
yeah, sure. Give us a epic Killa K story.
Crazy story the other night, man. Oh man.
I'll never forget the one of the girl who requested the Boosie song, and she was like, she was pouring Hennessy on her chest, in her eyes.
Oh man, pour Hennessy all in the eye.
All right, give us another one.
All right,
okay?
shit. This one. And I hope this girl don't see this, but this was crazy. All right, so girl, you know, she's DJing, doing my 1, 2, whatever. Call the girl to the stage, you know, whatever we doing, whatever. She's on the stage dancing, whatever. Boom, long ponytail, fine. You know what I'm saying? Doing her thing, you know me, I'm jamming. You know how I do. You know what I'm saying? She's doing her thing. So then, boom, she goes to do her little pole trick, right? And she twists, and her ponytail gets wrapped around the pole, right? So it's wrapped like it goes one, like, cause she's spinning somehow. So I don't know how, but somehow, some way, right? So when she finishes her spin, right, she's on the floor, but her hair is still wrapped
on the pole.
On the pole, all right? Understand now, this is a wig. You know, if y'all know anything about wigs, like it's glue, it's a lot of shit going on. Mm-hmm. So it can't just come off.
Mm-hmm. It's secured.
Yes, it's secure. This showed me the strength of them shits. Shit stuck. So she's stuck, right? So she down on the floor, and she's, you know, maybe down for maybe like a minute. Like, you know what I'm saying? But we all just had party going on. You know what I'm saying? Everybody vibing or whatever. Mm-hmm. And she's down there, and it's stuck. And then she can't get up. So 3 minutes go by, the song finishes, and she was stuck down there. So the bartender had to go up there, you know what I'm saying, with the knife, little knife that you use to cut lemons, and chop her shit off.
Damn.
And chop the wig off just to let her loose.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Just to let her loose. You know, she got back up, you know, no shame in her game, you know what I'm saying? You know, and went back to dancing, but that was crazy.
I mean, yeah, I was thinking it was going to be a little.
That was crazy. You know what I'm saying? That was crazy. That's just what, because I don't want to, you know, the girl might be out there, you know, might be an embarrassing moment, but we're not going to say no names or whatever, but that was a little crazy.
That is a pretty crazy moment.
You know, that first time I ever seen that. You know what I'm saying? And I done seen.
That's strong as glue.
Nah, but.
We may need to see who they are.
You know so apart from, you know, Hennessy getting poured in her eyes. And,
no, that was funny as fuck.
You know what I'm saying?
What was the one you told us outside? I want to hear the yeah baby.
Oh, the yacht. The yacht baby.
Oh, so I'm gonna just make a public service announcement before I preface this right here.
Allow me to reintroduce you.
Public service announcement, right? When you go request a song from the DJ, know the artist and the name of the song correctly. All right? Correctly. Don't be going to the DJ talking about, you know the song that go like,
the DJ can't.
And expect the DJ to know the song that goes, just because you know the song goes, all right? And also have the correct name and pronunciations and matter of fact, just put it up on your phone and bring it to me,
just
right?
Show it to him.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, me and I, you know, I had a girl come to the movie and she's like, yeah, can you want to hear that yacht baby? So me, I'm yacht baby. I know a lot of songs. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be the one. Yeah, that's what I do. So I'm thinking, bro, I never heard of yacht baby. So I go to Google and I'm Googling yacht baby and I'm spending 3 minutes Googling yacht baby.
That's 2 songs. You didn't have to do 2 changes.
It's giving me Lil Yachty and blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh, what song? And then I'm like, oh, Throat Baby. That's what she wanted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
like,
whatever, ran it in, Throat Baby, boom. She going crazy. But I just say that to say it happens all the time.
She going crazy.
But you want a Yacht Baby, though. It's not even what you...
She going crazy on Yacht.
It's not even what you asked for. You know what I'm saying? But I just had to say, yeah, please, have the correct name of the artist and the song when you come to request song from the DJ. And I don't even like requests, but you don't. It happens. You gotta. It comes with the territory. You know what I'm saying? It comes with the territory. I do take requests. I ain't gonna lie to you. As much as I don't, I take requests because I ain't gonna lie to you. I was in my earlier stage of DJing. I was I don't wanna. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm getting older, and like what we was talking about, how I'm just a vessel out here. You know what I'm saying? It's just to make people happy. So. I'm playing whatever. As long as it's in my mix, though. You feel what I'm trying to say? And when you approach me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that guy that just come up to the booth because you drunk. And you know what I'm saying? Like, understand I'm working, too. Understand I'm working. But, I play.
Have you ever had, like, someone, like, drunk give you an off-the-wall record? Like, I want to hear fucking A-Paul and MJG.
Yeah. What's this guy's name? Bill Withers. Bill Withers. And it wasn't even a lovely day because that's my shit. It was Bill Withers.
Was this person dressed in a light
I forget what record it was though. It was but yeah, Bill Withers would probably be the most.
He was like, "Let me hear Lean on Me."
Yeah, like it wasn't even Lean on Me though. Like it wasn't even. I forget what. But yeah, I say Bill Withers. It's a crazy ass, But nothing's ever. It's just
timing. Like,
yeah, it's just where you DJing at. You know what I'm saying? Because if I was DJing, an older crowd, whatever, that Bill Withers might be the man. Bill Withers might be the little baby of whatever crowd, whatever, party I'm DJing at. So it's never too off the wall. It's just in respects to where we're at.
Where we at,
It's prime time, you know what I'm saying?
Asking for Bill
I'm
Withers
in the middle of Liberty City, you know what I'm saying? And they spending money. You know what I mean? I love Bill Withers, but it ain't time for that. You know what I'm saying?
So I feel like every time
use me, there it goes. Till you use me,
No.
Yeah, that one. Bill Withers use me. Crazy.
I feel like I always talk about the songs that I love that you play. But one of them that I've been recently hearing the most is "Incredible" by Future.
Yeah.
And
Future.
so it just always reminds me of Miami Live.
Nah,
and you DJing
that was in my
era.
That was in my little mix when y'all was pulling up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's one of my favorites. And then you would always play the "She See Money All Around
Yeah, that
Me."
was it. That was in my little mix when y'all was pulling up too.
Man.
That was in my little mix
I
and y'all
love that
was pulling up
song.
too. Yeah.
That song is
That's
such
that's
a
one thing
vibe.
about good music. It always gives you that place in that time. You know what I'm saying? Like you could always think back, boy, I was jamming so and so at Miami Live, or I was, you know what I'm saying? The first time you got heard Snoop Dogg, it always takes you back to a place and like an absolute like kind of time. Feel what I'm trying to say? Good music, at least for me.
It takes you right back.
Yeah,
to
it takes you
moment.
right back to that. You know what I'm saying?
I had never heard "Incredible" outside of Miami Live. I heard it because of you.
Yeah, I was, but nah, Incredible is ain't gonna lie to you. Well, along with a lot of Future records, but in Miami, Incredible is a big, like in the strip club. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a big record. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it makes me want to dance.
it's a
and
big,
I can see myself dancing to that at the strip club.
Yeah, it's a big, strip club record. Along with, but everything kind of Future puts out is a big record in the strip club.
I mean, I like listening to Future when I'm working out. He pumps me up.
Yeah, Future's
like a nice little Future playlist.
Future's different, man. Future's, Future's on a whole nother level. One of the greats.
For the streets.
One of the greats out here.
Streets. So Kay, something that I've been doing now with guests is I ask them if they have a question for me. So do you have a question for me?
Yeah, I do got a question for you. I do got a question for you. What's next?
What's next?
Yeah, after, because of course this is, just a stepping stone. So what do you see yourself doing in, let's just say, the next 5 years?
Great question. Thank you for asking that. Wow. I see so much. I see this continuing. Of course, I see this being part of my brand, the Ambition Hour podcast. I see us having our own production where we have people that we're just helping, get to the next level of their purpose, because this is my purpose, like the whole audio, visual, and we do all that stuff ourselves because we have to. But at the end of the day, like my goal is to get people that are going to do that for us, and because that's what they love to do and they're good at it. You know what I mean? So of course that, also with the live show, I want to do live shows where like we have the audience in front of us. I also want to do a late night show. So like late night with Audie.
Yeah, okay.
So something like that. I see like we've been talking about getting a warehouse, and that's something that I also see as well. That's something that's just going to elevate the brand.
Yeah.
It's going to make it a little bit more professional as opposed to doing it here, even though this setting right now looks professional. I believe that once we get like a warehouse or something like that, like a production studio, it's just going to take it, like it's going to elevate the podcast and essentially the label, the brand, everything to the next level. So I do see myself continuing to do this. I see myself doing this for 10,000 hours plus. You know what I mean? Like I see that.
I know about that book.
I see myself. Yeah, I see myself doing this. Like I genuinely do. And I was actually talking about this a couple episodes ago about how I saw my life in that time. You know what I mean? And I just see it so beautifully. Like I see exactly what it is. So like you asking me that question, I don't have to think about it because I've already seen it. I've already thought about it. I've written about it. I've talked to God about it. I told Jav that it's crazy because I had a vision of one of my live shows, and I literally could feel how the lights in that room would feel. Like that's how deep I got into what I knew was going to happen. Like how the lights were going to feel on my skin, on my face, how down to how my makeup was going to look. And something that I always do as well in the podcast, because I do my own makeup every time that I do it, I think about the day that someone's going to do it for me.
And it's going to happen.
Yeah, thank you.
You put yourself already there.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes with manifesting. Is just thinking about it and putting yourself there, and then start working towards it, and it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
it's definitely gonna happen.
Anything
I learned from DJing, like it's gonna happen. You just gotta put yourself there and put in the work,
and be consistent.
And consistency is key. You can do anything if consistency over time is the key to success, or one of the keys.
Isn't that that's your fitness page?
That's my
your
fitness
thing.
My fitness.
Consistency over time.
Consistency over time is the key to anything. You want to do anything, it's consistency over time. You want to be a basketball player, you want to be a fireman, you want to be an astronaut. Right?
That's where the 10,000 hours come from. Like, how are you even going to know that anything is possible if you don't do it every day, every time, like all the time?
Consistency, being consistent is the key to everything. Key to everything.
That's one of the things that also that people feel lack in relationships as well is consistency.
Yeah, that too.
Like the managing of the energy when it's not consistent.
Yeah, it's one of those.
It's crazy how something as like. Something that's so easy to do but also not do is being consistent.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, in the relationship world, yeah, definitely.
Well, I mean in general. Because we can definitely talk about in relationship, but in general life
because it's discipline. You know what I'm saying? And that is probably one of the hardest things for anybody to do is discipline themselves. You know what I'm saying? And that goes with all aspects of your life, whether it be, back to what we're talking about, food or whatever, is discipline. So if you can't stay disciplined and not have nobody even discipline you, discipline coming from, you'll never be consistent at anything. You know what I'm saying? You'll never be consistent at anything because it's discipline. You got to be disciplined to be consistent.
Yep.
Nobody's going to wake you up and tell you got to go to the gym. You got to get up and go do it your damn self.
And go do it yourself. I was saying that to Jav the other day. I was just like, I was just like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go like work out real quick. I was just like, cause ain't nobody gonna do it for me.
Nah.
Like ain't nobody gonna do it for me.
Discipline.
That's one thing for sure. Ain't nobody gonna work out for me. Ain't nobody gonna do the show for me. No. If I were to leave it to somebody else to get me to 150 episodes, there was no way that was going to happen.
It wasn't going to happen.
It was never going to happen. I had to do it myself.
Yeah.
I had to do it, to put in that work, to like no one was going to do it for me.
Got to.
Like, and that's crazy. Like, I just think about that. And it's crazy because we're about to go into 2021 right now.
Around the corner.
And yeah, and literally it'll be 3 years since we started the podcast in 2021. And to just like look back on that and think about that, and then even getting asked like, where do you see this in 5 years? But if you would have asked me like a couple of years ago, I would have just wanted this moment.
That's it. Nah, you're right.
Like I just wanted this moment. I was just like, I just want to get to 150. Like I just want to get,
look at that.
Like, yeah, like I just want to get to a level where it's just like, damn, she's done how many episodes? Like before it was just like a cute little 10, it's like, now it's like, no, it's like 100 and yeah. And it's just like, nobody else was going to do it for me.
Definitely.
And that's like, something that I seen on Instagram that it's just like, no one's going to come and save you.
No one's definitely not going to come and save you. No one. Only you could save you. Only you can save you.
Only you can save you. I agree with that.
Only you can save you.
I know you always have some great questions.
Yeah.
Do you have any for Killa K?
Yeah, I just wanted to elaborate a little bit more. Well, one on the brand, and you mentioned Nip.
Yeah.
I just want to know, did that kind of tie? I know you kind of mentioned it with the marathon.
Yeah.
And that, but just talk to us about what Nip has meant to you. Yeah.
All right. What Nip? All right. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. Like, I'm not one of those guys, and I hate to say this because you know how they say, after somebody dies is when you start showing the flowers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't really up on Nip before he passed. Not even gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? I was a couple records. He had that Clarity record that I was playing all the time. You know what I'm saying? And a couple other records, but I wouldn't say I was like, you know what I'm saying? But after he passed, you know what I'm saying, I got into his music. You know what I'm saying? I really started getting into his music. And then it wasn't even the music. I sat home one day. This was probably like beginning of the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Beginning of the pandemic. And I would smoke and I would just watch his interviews. You know what I'm saying? I would just watch his interviews. And everything he was saying in his interviews about being self-made, right? You could just watch his interviews, and he'll give you the blueprint. You know what I'm saying?
He's dropped a lot of game in his interviews.
He'll give you the blueprint, right? For any aspiring young, you know what I'm saying, person coming from where we're coming from and the circumstances we come from. If you watch Nip's interview, he's going to give you the blueprint, right? You know what I'm saying? So I watched all his interviews, every last one, you know what I'm saying? And then from the interviews is when I started getting into the music more, you know what I'm saying? And then I started going back and then listening like, damn, Nip was really on it, you know what I'm saying? So for now, when I'm going into branding and merch and my business aspect of the music, I'm using his blueprint. You know what I'm saying? I'm using his blueprint. Everything he was telling me in them interviews to do, you know what I'm saying? I'm using his blueprint. So to answer your question, Nip was real monumental, right? You know what I'm saying? Because he painted the picture or gave us the blueprint if you pay attention. You know what I'm saying? And he also let us know that this shit's going to be hard. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be super hard. Like, if you watch his story and the stuff that he done been through, and for him to still be able to persevere, you know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. So I just took his blueprint. You feel what I'm trying to say? And then his blueprint, or what I take from the blueprint, right, or from the marathon, right? Whatever, okay, let's just say you're starting your company, your business, or whatever, right? Of course, it's about the music, and it's coming from the music, right? But you got to create what's the word? You got to create we could say lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? Or a certain way of thinking that transcends your music. You feel what I'm trying to say? With the marathon and what Nip represented, it transcended his music. You know what I'm saying? It transcended because it was a way of life. You know what I'm saying? It was a lifestyle. It was, the marathon. This is never gonna stop. Like victory lap. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So even though it's about the music, he's giving you a state of mind. You know what I'm trying to say? So for me, starting mine, right, Lotus Life, you know what I'm saying? I knew it had to be rooted in something bigger than just anything because I could print up some DJ Killa K shirts. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I, understanding my purpose and what I'm here for, right? It's bigger than just the music. You know what I'm saying? So basing my company and basing my shirts and anything, I'm pushing a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I'm pushing a way of thinking.
Of righteousness.
You know what I'm saying? Of righteousness. It's bigger than DJ Killa K. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand through my talents, right? Through being a DJ, through personal training, through all the things I'm talented at, right? I have a platform. You know what I'm saying? I have a platform to where people follow me, people listen to me, people pay attention to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost my duty to teach or spread positivity. You know what I'm saying? Because by default, as soon as you get in front of this mic, you know what I'm saying? By default, you become a leader. You know what I'm saying? You automatically have a platform because people are going to listen to you. You know what I'm saying? So for me, with my clothing brand, with anything I wanted to do, I understood that I do have a platform. So I got to base it in righteousness. And that's what, to answer your question, how Nip taught me. You know what I'm saying? Nip, his whole blueprint. And I haven't seen, not to say, because I'm pretty sure other rappers have done it, right? But gave the blueprint so clear. You feel what I'm trying to say? If you listen to Nipsey, if you listen to the lyrics, if you know what I'm saying? If you listen,
left footprints.
Yeah, if you listen to records
greatness.
like Bigger Than Life, you know what I'm trying to say? Like he breaks down the whole struggle of being self-made in this music thing and succeeding and what you're going to go through, what you're going to face, you know what I'm saying? Not needing to be, you know what I'm saying? Like we say he made his first million by himself. I don't need y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all self-made things. So he definitely influenced me in that way. And it was bigger than his music. It was just who he is as a person. Because like I said, I watched the interviews first before I even kind of got into the music. You know what I'm saying? And then now it's like I'm all in. That to me, he's top 5. You know what I'm saying? Like I put him up there. I put him up there just for the knowledge that he was able to leave behind for us.
Yeah, the legacy.
You know what I'm trying to say? The blueprint. I don't think there's, as far as like, let me not say that. Because Pac and Big, you know what I'm saying? They've all done their part to lay down foundations. Because I ain't gonna lie, Pac, was real influential on me becoming a man and growing up. And first drink I ever drank Hennessy because Pac was drinking Hennessy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so not just
cut the family a check.
Yeah. So I want to, you know what I mean? I want to say, but as far as like the business, the music business, and the angle of a street nigga making it in the music business, Nipsey Hussle is the
we talked a lot about
prototype
about like what we're listening to and kind of we want to listen to something that's going to grow us or teach us something new, because we kind of heard already how many times we could load up the 9.
Of course,
we heard that many
everybody
times.
got a Draco.
So
you know what I'm saying?
What are those type of things that you
everybody
are listening
period
to nowadays? Huh? My bad. What type of
period poo?
What type of content you listening to now?
For me, when it comes to the music, right? Cause
or not even like any books.
Oh yeah. Well, you know me. I'm a book kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? Let me see my newest one that I'm into. I could put y'all up on. Let me go to my.
Oh, he got it on iBooks.
I got. All right, so I'm actually on right now. The Way of the Superior Man.
Oh, I read that book.
But that's just like my go-to. Like I listen to that book every day. You feel me? Like I read it before. I just now got the audio.
It's a really good book.
You know what I'm saying? But I got The African Origin of Civilization. I'm on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm on Conscious Capitalism. Now, we could talk about that one because that'll tie into the NIP thing because I got this off NIP's book list.
Oh,
you
nice.
know what I'm saying?
I've gotten some books from his list as
Conscious Capitalism. You feel what I'm
The
trying
Way
to
is
say?
the Superior Man is also on his list, I think.
Yeah. That's on his list too. You know what I'm saying? But Conscious Capitalism, that also ties into what we were talking about, about basing your whole, if you want to say, your movement in righteousness. You know what I'm saying? It's understanding that we live in a capitalist society. You know what I'm saying? America is what we were talking about there just earlier is a big business. We live in a capitalist society. You know what I'm saying? So being conscious in your capitalism. You feel what I'm trying to say? So that's a good book. And I believe, I got to go back and refresh, but I believe it's the guys or the people behind Whole Foods.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? In the beginning, I hope I ain't, because I smoke a lot. And I hate to even blame it on smoking because everybody say that. Cause ain't no excuse. Ain't no excuse, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no excuse.
Yeah, I just forgot.
Ain't no excuse. I just forgot. But if I'm not,
Paraphrasing.
I'm paraphrasing. I'm gonna go back in and you know what I'm saying. But it's the people in Whole Foods, right? And if it's not Whole Foods, it's one of these big organic
one of them
chains. You feel me? In the beginning, they were kind of struggling to whereas because it's healthy food, right? And they just wanted to give it away. You feel me? They just wanted to open a farmer's market and just, you know what I'm saying, help people because there was no way to get this type of food. But now, all right, living in America, living where we, the USA, you got to get paid. So that was, it's a whole book on like.
They don't respect you if you don't get paid.
Exactly. So
even
if you're trying to help people and you giving away this great food, you know what I'm saying, you still got to get paid. So it's all about being conscious in your capitalism. It's all about sticking true or sticking to your morals, sticking to your principles in the midst of the business world.
My last question.
Yeah.
Man, for you, you got it tatted on you. What does Miami mean to you?
Miami is everything to me. That's why I got it tatted on me. Like Miami for me, Miami is everything because for me, I feel like growing up in Miami, it prepared me for the rest of the world. You know what I'm saying? Not even, another, like the rest of the world. I feel like growing up in Miami, you become so cultured by default. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. By default that you'll be able to go anywhere in the world. I haven't traveled yet, so, but I kind of, from the places I've been to, right, and the diversity and the cultures and it's nothing like Miami.
Nothing.
You feel what I'm trying to say? It's nothing like Miami. So Miami has prepared me for life. You know what I'm saying? Miami has prepared me to be able to go anywhere and be okay. You feel what I'm trying to say? From the way of thinking, as far as like, and on both aspects, you know what I'm saying? From, with the street mentality, you know what I'm saying? Like Miami shit is just crazy, you know what I'm saying? So it's like nothing I haven't seen, nothing I haven't been privy to, nothing you can't tell me about wherever I'm, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like growing up here or like being from here, you're just built different.
Yeah, you're definitely built different. Just my state of mind, you know what I'm saying? That's what Miami means to me. Like it's prepared me for the world, you know what I'm saying? Being able to grow up around these different people and different cultures and you know what I mean? Like, I love it. I pay the high rent. You know what I'm saying?
And we got home of the best strip clubs.
And the best strip clubs. I don't care. I love Atlanta. I love ATL. I love Houston. I love these places.
DC.
You know what I'm saying? DC. I love wherever they stripping at. You know what I'm saying? But
it ain't here.
It ain't Miami, boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, we 24 hours. That's all I got to say. It never stops.
Okay, I just wanted to say thank you once again for coming through.
Oh, man, appreciate y'all for having me. I hope I was able to, leave some jewels at this time again.
Okay,
that's what it's really about, being able to.
I feel like you have grown.
I appreciate
like
that.
you have grown, even in like the how you speak and everything.
I'm glad I was able to come with some shirts this time.
Thank you.
Before we get up out of here.
Yes, of course.
Before we get up out of here, I'm gonna get my site and all that.
Camera's over there. Look.
Oh yeah, I'm looking over here.
You're looking at yourself.
I've got me over here. All right. Before we get out of here, Lotus Life is my new. Right now we got the t-shirts, but it's my new lifestyle brand. Going live on Christmas. You'll be able to hit up my little website. I'm gonna get that thing popping. And
not little website.
You know what I'm saying?
Say
okay, my big,
about
huge,
to be sold out website. So y'all better get with it. He said Christmas.
My big, huge, stupendous, enormous website. You know what I'm saying?
That shit gonna crash that day.
I'm about to, get right, and you'll be able to order it from there. From now, you can just hit me up on Instagram at KMurder. 305 or DM me, you know what I'm saying? We could do the whole Cash App thing and I'll get a shirt your way. But it's all about Lotus Life for 2021. You know what I'm saying? If you're living that Lotus Life, you're in a dark place, fighting through adversity, trying to blossom into something beautiful.
And we're gonna work on that ginger shot.
And we're
gonna talk about that.
And we're gonna, I'm gonna get y'all on that ginger because
I like ginger. I like to drink ginger tea.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite things to
drink. Drink it every day,
it's
ginger and everything.
Tea on pepper. We're gonna do all that.
Ginger. And this is a ginger fact because I got a ginger book from my mom. Shout out to my mom.
Shout out to moms.
Ginger is mentioned in every holy book you can think of. So the Bible, the Quran, whatever, anything holy you can think about, they was on ginger.
They was on ginger.
That's how real ginger is. So just know you need some ginger in your life.
I heard that. I love drinking ginger tea. Like I said, again, thank you for coming through.
Thank y'all one time for the Ambition Hour, my favorite podcast. And whenever y'all need me, I'll be back. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love doing it. I love hanging out with my people. Shouts out to Spitz, man. We was waiting on you, but hey.
I think he's here, but he just didn't come in.
He didn't come in. Okay, shouts out to the homie Spitz. Shouts out to House. Shouts out to the whole Word to Wait, man. You know what it is, man. DJ Killa K, K-Murder 305, Stabbed in the Streets DJs. Shouts out to my DVD family. And Lotus Life, Lotus Life, Lotus Life, Lotus Life.
Guys, remember we are still in a pandemic, so make sure that you wash your hands, wash your ass.
Yeah, I'm gonna go put my mask on when we get up out of here. Don't think we was in here on some damn boy.
We're
talking about COVID.
We're even distance.
Boy, Killa K talking about you could drink ginger, you ain't gonna get COVID. Nah, we gonna go put the mask on before we get out of here.
I can't do my intro or my outro.
Wash
your hands, wash your ass, mind your business.
Still COVID out there, man.
Drink your water.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's still airborne, y'all. Put your mask on, dog.
And for the 150 first time in a motherfucking row, it's your girl Claudia Renee on your airwaves with my co-host Have 600 and our special guest.
Appreciate
Killa K in the building. And we are out of here.
Yes, sir.
It's the Ambition Hour, baby. It's
Worth the wait.
The Ambition Hour, baby. It's the Ambition Hour, baby.
Cut that thing up ASAP, my brother. Appreciate y'all, man.
This is great.
Love, man. Hope you got some, good shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it's all.